Good morning to the Royal Oak Bowling Club for finals day of the Clif Shanks Memorial Pairs event, played here in brilliant sunshine this morning here at Royal Oak. And the semi-final that we will concentrate on this morning is the combination of Glenn Newton of the Auckland Bowling Club and Alan Stewart of Tikawhata, and they're up against the Pakuranga pairing of Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton. In the other semi-final, which has also been played out here in front of us, is that of the local Royal Oak combination, Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon, and they're up against Utu Vava and Luke Matiora. And of course we'll keep you posted of progress at that event as well. 15 ends in this semi-final with no time limit, and play underway here at the very picturesque Royal Oak Bowling Club with One Tree Hill sitting up behind us. As I say, brilliant sunshine, and we're in for a splendid day here at the Royal Oak Club. So here now is Alan Stewart on the mat, the former Thames Valley player, playing down on the forehand with the blue bowls. You'll note that they are wearing a particular memorial shirt, the combination today of Stewart and Glenn Newton, and that's to sort of commemorate the passing of one of the young players, Adam Johnson, who sadly used to play at the Mangere Bowling Club and then the Manawatu, who passed away about 12 to 18 months ago. And they're wearing today the memorial shirts of that much respected young player, Adam Johnson. As I watch Murray Dixon on this, the first end, remembering they're playing 2 bowls, then 4, then 2, so it is a different format. So here's the second bowl of Stewart falling short with his first. He's playing on the forehand away from the clubhouse here in front of us. No wind, absolutely perfect conditions. Stewart short with his first bowl, but looks to have a better line with this his second bowl as it breaks down towards the head. Just question how the weight is going to be. Of course, also underway today around the country is the quarterfinals, semi-finals and final of the Spates Northeast Valley Singles. This very, very prestigious event held at the Northeast Bowling Club. And those quarterfinals got underway this morning. And I can tell you that we've got Murray Scott of Nelson up against Caleb Hope of Johnsonville, Andrew Kelly of Canterbury up against Tom Tairua of the Kaikarai Club in Dunedin, Shannon McElroy of Nelson up against Andy McLean of Northeast Valley, Sheldon Bagley-Howley of Gore playing Finbar McGuigan of Stokes Valley. And those quarterfinals are being played at present at the Northeast Valley Bowling Club in Dunedin. So we'll be here right throughout the whole day with the semi-finals and finals. The green running this morning has opened running at around about 16 seconds. So really good speed for this pristine condition green here at Onehunga. 2 clubs, well, Royal Oak, used to be Onehunga. The Royal Oak Club has come about, of course, by the merging of 2 clubs. That of the Onehunga Club, who have based here for a number of years, or over 100 years. Very historic club. Some great names of the past come from this club, and they merged with the Hillsborough Club just up the road here about 4 years ago. And now, of course, Royal Oak, 2 Green Club, great membership, great club rooms, and they host this very prestigious event in memory of Clif Shanks, of course, long time member of the Hillsborough Bowling Club, ex-school teacher, secretary of the Hillsborough Club for a number of years, many years, and was the tournament was named after him and started off, in fact, at a Pairs event, played at Hillsborough, and the first prize, in fact, used to be a trip to the prestigious Warilla Pairs tournament in Australia, and it's a very sort of fitting tribute for the contribution that Clif Shanks made in his role as a life member, past president and secretary for 16 years of what was the Hillsborough Bowling Club. As I watched Terry Brunton, the president, in fact, of the Pakuranga Bowling Club, playing down on his forehand, playing his 2 last bowls on this, the first end, remembering they play 2-4-2 as the format is. So no doubt we'll see the Alan Stewart combination, asking Glenn Newton to give him another bowl on the head. Actually, Brunton turning their own bowl into the head. So you'll see that the brown bowls belong to the Stewart Newton combination, and along with the blue bowls, and the black bowls all belong to the the Dixon combination. So you can see on this very first head, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black bowls nestled in around the jack. Only one sitting right on top of the jack, three out in front of it. So a bit of a Chinese wall there for Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart to traverse, as we watch now Terry Brunton changing his hand, playing down towards, away from the clubhouse, getting applause from his skip, Murray Dixon, as it comes in behind the head, giving them a back bowl over the head. And I'm sure we're going to see Newton has got to get into the head somehow and reduce the count on this very first end, at least endeavour to get second shot. At this stage, they've got no bowls in and around the head, so here is Glenn Newton playing down, away from the clubhouse, playing a tighter line. It's going to run into the Terry Brunton bowl, push it back further into the head, and looking at this stage at looks like 4 shots. They're having the count up now. They start pulling the shot bowls out on this very first end, and I'd say it looks like 4, maybe even 5 on this very, very first end. Alan Stewart, and there's number 4 has come out, number 5 has come out, and it's 6 in fact on the very first end to the combination of Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton. Great start. No bowls over the head, of course, for the Stewart Newton combination, and paid the price of that. And as I say, the other semi-final sees Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon here of the Royal Oak Club playing Ula Vava and Luke Matiora. Luke Matiora from the Bridge Park Club, and Utu Vava from the Royal Oak Club here in Auckland. Perfect conditions, no wind. And of course, thanks to Tamara, who's with me from Bowls New Zealand. She's the brains behind bringing this live coverage. And Alistair, who's working alongside us here. We've certainly got, it's a TV studio that we've got here, but we'll be able to bring you all the live action for sure. So the jack's been delivered by Murray Dixon, 3/4 length head, playing up towards the clubhouse here at Royal Oak. So Dixon, play down on the backhand, and going by that first head, there was still plenty of room to draw, so we'll no doubt the Stewart combination will be wanting to get back into a drawing mode as we watch this first bowler, Murray Dixon's, which is going to pull up short and under the line. Of course, very helpful with the greenkeepers here at Royal Oak by painting the centre line down through the middle. It makes it very, very helpful, both for the players and, of course, for us here in the commentary position. Certainly makes it a lot easier to get an idea where the bowls are at. So here comes the first bowl of Glenn Newton, draws right to the centre line. He's about a metre behind. You notice the blue bowl there. Murray Dixon now quickly into his work. Long-time member of the Pakuranga Bowling Club. In fact, many, many, many years ago, was a member here, as were his brothers at when it was the Onehunga Bowling Club. All the Dixon family all played out of Onehunga at one stage. So there's a better bowl here for Murray Dixon. Zip just breaks in towards the jack's going to sit in behind it, right to the centre line, about 2 foot behind. That'll definitely be shot. So Stewart was a very promising junior of years gone by. In fact, played here a number of times in what was the traditional Kitty Hawks singles, which was played over Easter. Players like Shannon McElroy, Andrew Kelly, Chris Lalieve all came through that Kitty Hawks program. As you watch this bowler, Stewart's break towards the head, has got the weight to get all the way to count, maybe not, just pulls up and will be close to shot. Of course, now we'll see the middle of four bowls each will be played by Terry Brunton and Glenn Newton. And, of course, playing this format, dropping to 6 is certainly not very helpful, but certainly plenty of ends to be able to claw their way back into the game. As we watch now, Brunton on the backhand as well. Certainly on a good arced wider line. May Not sure if it'll come back all the way. Breaking back to the head now. It was starting to come back, but in fact, well, it'll be the shot. It still leaves it short and plenty of room for Glenn Newton of the Auckland Bowling Club to at least get second shot, or in fact, get the shot to roll the Stewart bowl into the head. Breaks its way towards the head now, but very, very much under the line. Certainly steered that bowl on a narrow line. We'll just about go dead on the side of that, and it does. It goes dead on the side rink. So Terry Brunton again out on that backhand, very wide line out through there. The object for the Stewart combination, Newton combination, is just to endeavour to draw in front of the blue bowl, which sits there between the blue and the black bowl. It'll certainly give him a shot. Absolutely perfect conditions here on day 3 of this day 3 and finals day. The bowl away with a bit of a flick to Glenn Newton. It's definitely got a better line as it breaks towards the head now. This is getting applause from Alan Stewart. Is it just got to get past the blue bowl or run all the way through it? Just runs into it. And again, we've seen the Stewart-Newton combination building up the brick wall in front of them. So Terry Brunton, again, on the backhand. Looks to be on a better line with this bowl. Is it breaking in towards the head now? If he breaks under his own, he's going to be close to getting to the jack. In fact, sits on his own bowl. So, indication, Alan Stewart saying to Glenn Newton, play down on that backhand, either turn the blue bowl or your brown bowl, get one roll out of it into the head, and you'll go close to making shot. Look narrow out of the hand when he let it go, and that's where it's going to run. It's going to run way under the head again, and we'll nearly go dead again on that sideline, and yes, it does. Terry Brunton again on that wide side. Will come past the zone and behind the head. So Alan Stewart just indicating to Glenn Newton that we are 2 down. So he again will play on that backhand. Just got to take his green and turn any one of the 2 front bowls over. And he's certainly on a better line with this bowl. Certainly got some width on it. Just how much width has he got with weight? And in fact, it's going to sit wide outside their head. But, well, finishes at jack level. Also a very good day on the greens yesterday over on the Gold Coast, where we saw our New Zealand representative, Caitlin Inch, up against Chloe Stewart in the final of the Queensland singles, and it was our New Zealand girl Caitlin Inch who ran out the winner over Chloe Stewart by 25 shots to 24. And earlier in the event, Caitlin Inch and her partner Julie Keegan, they defended their peers title, the Queensland State Peers title, which they won last year, and they won that again. And also, on a very good note, another one of our New Zealand players, and used to play right here out of this club at the Onehunga Club, where it was then. Krista Lee now plays out of the Musgrave Hills Club on the Gold Coast. Well, him and his partner, they ran out the winners of the state peers, in fact, beating the number 1 Australian ranked player, Aaron Sheriff, on an extra end. So Krista Lee, of course, part of the Blackjack squad. He finished in the last 8 of the Queensland singles, 4s and triples, and won the Queensland pairs. So very good few days for our New Zealand Blackjack players, winning Queensland titles. As we watch this bowler, Alan Stewart trying to get down to the counting bowls to the jack, but he's just falls slightly outside it. May only be 1 down, in fact, with that. The jack trail, so Murray Dixon will come down, I'd say, on his forehand, try and just sit on top of the black bowls sitting there on the head, turn them onto the jack, and if the jack, of course, moves out slightly to the right, there's 3 waiting bowls there for the Pakuranga side. Remember, they scored a 6 on the first end. So here's Dixon's bowls playing with reaching weight, endeavouring to get up to his own bowls. Just going to sit just ever so much on the wider side, very close to getting the ultimate result. So Alan Stewart's got to be very careful here, of course. He doesn't jar their own blue bowl out of the head, so he can't afford to attack it with too much weight because the two blue bowls would certainly disappear. His best shot is obviously to try and play down there, sit on the bowl, or get a trail on the jack. Certainly can't afford to lose his own bowl. So he's on that tighter line, this Stewart, with the blue bowls, trying to get down to the jack, but going to be too far, I'd say, under that line. Needs to get some luck, and he does get some luck. Is it going to be enough luck? And it is enough luck. Turns the bowl, turned the bowl through the head around about 3 or 4 times, and may well have made shot of it. I think the measure might come out, but most of it would definitely be looked as though it was close enough to get the shot. A bit fortuitous of how the bowl rolled cleanly into the head after being narrow on his delivery was Alan Stewart. So Terry Brunton down with the measure. Going to the blue bowl first of Stewart's, now across to the Dixon bowl, and still one to the Pakuranga combination of Terry Brunton and Murray Dixon. So now they lead 7 shots to 2. And in the Mike Galloway, Martin Dixon game in the other semi-final, there's 2 ends gone in that, and I can tell you that Martin Dixon is leading, and him and Galloway are leading, in fact, 5-0 after 2 of the 15 ends. So it's the local combination of Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon. So Jack's been delivered by Terry Brunton down towards the Mount Smarty end here, away from the bowling club. So the green running around about 16 seconds as you see the Brunton bowl with that lovely arc breaking in towards the head now. Just going to go by about 1.5 metres, but certainly on a good line to the jack. So here is the Glenn Newton bowl, who's on a narrower line coming down towards the jack now. Just question how far it's going to run by. Doesn't quite get the jack, goes by a couple of metres. At least he was up to the head, which he sort of had a bit of a struggle with to date. 7-0 after 2 ends to Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton. Again, that very wide line from Terry Brunton on the forehand side, going down towards the Mount Smart end. And just going to pull up jack low. It was certainly on that drawing arc. So here, Glenn Newton now. Certainly got a bit of line. Just question the weight now. Breaks towards the head. A very good line to the jack. And it is. And sits right in front of the jack. Only about a few inches away from the jack. Very good second bowl by the lead, Glenn Newton. So the skips change over. So today, of course, we've got the main event, and there's also plate events and flights and all sorts of things for those who haven't made their way through to the final. So Murray Dixon now on the mat, on the forehand. Dixon, very, very accomplished player over many years at the Pakuranga Club. On the forehand, trying to get down to the jack through the playing through that port to the jack or the shot bowl. Just has to get underneath it. In fact, just falls on top of it by about 1 metre low of the jack. So Alan Stewart now, so he got the Adam Johnson memorial shirts on. On the forehand is Alan Stewart. He comes from a famous family in the Thames Valley, the famous bowling family. Jackie Stewart, well-known family, the Stewart family in the Thames Valley bowling world, and were legends in the late 60s and 70s. and 80s, the Stewart family. Dougie Stewart, his father, and Jackie Stewart certainly featured in a number of the major events. As we watch this second bowl of Murray Dixon's, just going to goes through the head by about a metre. First bowl of Stewart's, of course, you can clearly see there. A good metre and a half short. And this second bowl, not sure the weight, got the weight to get all the way. This bowl of Stewart's just goes by about a metre. Of course, we just saw then on the way through that Stewart actually got a touch on the jack and moved the jack back and moved it directly back to the Pakuranga bowl of Murray Dixon, his first bowl, in fact, that went through the head. So leaving the Stewart Newton side now one down, as Stewart will play his third bowl. On that forehand, he was narrow with his second and just got that unhelpful slice of the jack. And this bowl needs to get down through the port, have that draw weight. Has it got enough weight to get all the way down to count? Certainly got through the port. No, it doesn't, but pulls up around about a metre short. Definitely having trouble with their weight. Is the combination of Stewart and Glenn Newton. We see this bolt of Murray Dixon's. He certainly got this out on a wider line, breaking in towards the head now, going to finish outside the counting area. Alan Stewart, of course, in years gone by, also played for the Waikato for a number of years in the representative scene. And was out of the game for a few years, but now back on the green and playing out of the Tika Whata Club just down the motorway here. An hour and a bit down the motorway. So we watch this bowl of Stewart's coming down towards the head. They've got to get past these short bowls. And again, short again. 3 bowls, 3 of the 4. Extremely short. And they only had the 4th bowl, which in fact was his second bowl played. Got the back of the jack and sliced it back to the Pakuranga side, away from the shot bowl of Glenn Newton's. So 15 ends, and Mike Galloway in the other semi-final. Mike Galloway is leading that semi-final 8-0 after 3 of 15 ends. Here at the Royal Oak Club, the Clif Shanks Memorial pairs. As you watch this bowl here of Terry Brunden's, we'll make 2 of this because he just ran into his own short bowl, turned it into the head. Glenn Newton now really has got a little option but to endeavour to try and draw down on his backhand around past a number of short bowls, trying to get down to the head to reduce the count. But that's going to be exceptionally narrow. And again, the head's wide open for the Pakuranga side to draw another shot and really put the pressure on after 3 ends, although Glenn Newton's still got another bowl left. And this bowl of Brunton's now breaking in towards the head. See the big wide draw on it, getting past his own, falls over, and that'll certainly count as well. So it's imperative here that Glenn Newton at least gets something in on the head, on the draw. I'll take some green. Looks as though he's going back to the forehand and playing with a lot of weight up through the middle. It's a bit of a hit and hope, but all he resulted in doing was getting another one of the Pakuranga bowls and knock that into the head, and that could be 4. We'll just wait for them to have a count up, have a look. Three have been taken out. The measure may come out for the fourth. Murray Dixon having a look with the different way of measuring. Alan Stewart's really saying it's only three. Three it is. It's a further three to the Brunton side. And after now 3 ends, they lead by 10-0. 10-0 after 3 of 15 ends. And Mike Galloway in the other semi-final over Utuva and Luke Mataroa. It's Galloway and Dixon that lead 8-0 after 3 of the 15 ends in the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Piers here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club. And of course, Royal Oak, the home of the Royal Oak Rockets, who are part of the Bowls 3-5, the televised event, which will be on your screens through the next 6 or 7 weeks on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
So you watch all that live. The Bowls 3-5 has Murray Dixon on his back end, 3 ends gone. 10-0 to the Dixon-Brunton combination in this semi-final. Of course, we'll be bringing you the final later on today as well of this Clif Shanks Memorial Piers. And I'll update you as results come through to me as well at the Northeast Valley, the Spates 10,000 invitation singles, although they lost some play as we watched Alan Stewart draw what I would say a very, very overdue shot just in behind the jack. They did have inclement weather yesterday down there in Dunedin, and the forecast for today is actually not that bright, so they may have an interrupted day down there at Northeast Valley, but we'll keep you up to date of results as they come through. So here is the Murray Dixon bowl now, breaking in towards the head, just has to sit inside that the blue bowl of Stewart, just in fact sits outside the bowl. So Alan Stewart again now. Holding shot on the forehand, 3/4 length head. Trust you enjoy this live coverage that we're bringing to you, half of Bowls New Zealand and the Royal Oak Bowling Club, right throughout the day. And we look forward to, of course, between Tamara and myself here, with the Summer of Bowls coming up, we'll be bringing you a number of events right throughout the year, with, of course, the big events being out of the Somerset National Pairs and Singles starting early January here in Auckland, and then we will also be bringing a host of other events as well right throughout the summer, and we'll be bringing you, Brenda Van Nistelrooy and myself, we'll be bringing you live action right throughout the summer. So here, Terry Brunton playing his first bowl. Just going to break under the line. Just how far is it going to run? Just runs by. Slightly light of green. So Stewart, the Glenn Newton now, with Alan Stewart will play his first bowl on this, the fourth end. Holding one shot is the Stewart Newton combination, and he's got a good line with this bowl. Just going to question the weight's going to go by about a metre. So for those who don't know where the Royal Oak Bowling Club is, it's situated just off Mount Smart Road here in the Onehunga Royal Oak area, and it sits under the mountain, the shroud of One Tree Hill. And of course, in days gone by, One Tree Hill was in fact the emblem, one of the emblems of the club. Where I'm sitting now, you can clearly see One Tree Hill right out in front of us, Onehunga down behind us into the southern side, and to the western side of the club, borders on Royal Oak. So it's nestled right in that Royal Oak Onehunga area. As you see, this bowl of Glenn Newton just breaking behind the head. That's definitely 2 shots. It's a good start from the Stewart Newton combination. They've certainly been struggling to get bowls on the head, dropping a 6, a 1 and a 3 in the first 3 ends. So here is Terry Brunton bowl. Looks as it's going to come back all the way. He's going to just go by his own bowl and sits in behind the head. So here's a great opportunity for the Stewart and Newton side to build a scoring opportunity head for them. As you see, Glenn Newton delivers his bowl out on that forehand side. Looks to be on a good line as it now breaks its way towards the head. And Stewart's pretty keen on this one as well. It's going to sit just alongside the jack. In fact, finishes jack level, about 9 inches from the jack. So Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton play down there reach down here with weight, try and sit on these front bowls, which is what he's doing. But he's going to go wide. Came through pretty quick with that bowl. So here's a good opportunity for the Stewart-Newton combination to build that good scoring head, holding 3 shots as the skips will change over again on a good break to the arc to the head. Here's this bowl of Glenn Newton's, and that's going to be another counter that just sits high of the jack, or alongside the jack virtually, and that's definitely 4. So Murray Dixon, no doubt, he'll be playing with attacking weight to reach up through the head to either kill the head, or reduce the count. So Murray Dixon, Pakuranga player, moves back to the mat now. The black bowls. On the mat, on the backhand. Looks as though he's going to reach through there with weight. It's on its way. And is going to go completely wide of the head. And in fact, may well knocked one of the Alan Stewart bowls, which was counting. Knocked that closer into the head. So definitely 4 shots been held by the Newton and Stewart combination as Alan Stewart makes his way back to the head. This could be the chance to get back into the game. So here is the bearded Alan Stewart in the black polo. Delivers on that forehand. Certainly on a wider line than the Glenn Newton bowls. How far is it coming back to the head? Don't think it'll get into the counting area. Or may do, or just out of the count. I don't think Dixon's got any other option other than to try and attack the head again. And ask him whether that last bowl of Alan Stewart's counted, and the response was no, it doesn't. So that remains 4 shots being held by the Stewart-Newton combination. So here now is Murray Dixon again on the backhand, endeavouring to play with a lot of weight up through to the jack. It's on its way, playing that narrower line. Looks though it's going to go by. We're going to get the black bowl in front, and there's a bit of fortuitous luck, I would say. He was certainly a long way off target and managed to move the jack out to the side to a waiting bowl of the Pakuranga side. And very fortuitous to run into that short bowl. One down is Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. So they looking to draw the shot to open their account after holding 4 very good shots and sort of robbed. So here, Alan Stewart now playing his Last bolt on this, the fourth end, one down on the head. Breaking its way down towards the head now. Is it going to run far enough? I'm not sure it's going to. No, it's short. So that'll certainly be one to the Pakuranga combination as they jump out now to an 11-0 lead after 4 ends. And I can tell you that Mike Galloway in the other semi-final over Utu Ivar and Luke Matiaroa, it's 8-0. Board has been updated. It may have been an Ian gone, but 8-0, or it could have been Ian killed. 8-0 after 3 of 15. And Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton up against Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart in the semi-final that we're covering. And after 4 ends, it is 11-0 now to the Dixon-Brunton combination at the Royal Oak with the Clif Shanks Memorial. 242 pairs here at Royal Oak Bowling Club. Perfect conditions, no wind. So Jack's been delivered and comes up. First bolt, Terry Brunton's around about a metre short. Newton now going to the backhand, playing down towards the Mount Smart Road. It looks to be on the wide side. Certainly had better weight. Virtue finished Jack level, but just wide on the draw side. So Terry Brunton now. Not sure if he likes that one. Gave the bowling cloth a bit of a squeeze when he delivered it. But it looks to be on a good line from my point, and it certainly is. It breaks down towards the Jack. Will finish just in behind by about a metre, but comes back to the centre line. So Glenn Newton now playing his second bowl, and he's brought that line in. But how far he brought the line into the draw line to the Jack, and it looks to me as though it's going to sit under the Jack line, and does, in fact, is Jack level, but certainly not in what I would call a counting position. Reflecting on that last end, no doubt, and they were holding 4 shots, maybe 5, when Murray Dixon got a wee bit of luck running into a bowl. And fortunate through the head for shot. Then Alan Stewart was unable to draw. So here now is Murray Dixon. Played a lot of his bowls a long, long time ago. In fact, here at Onehunga, with a couple of the icons, the late RL, Bob McDonald, of course, who played here at Onehunga for a number of years, played for New Zealand, and was certainly a very, very colourful figure on the greens around New Zealand and at world events. And Murray Dixon also played a lot of his bowls with Murray Davis, MEG Davis, who won a couple of New Zealand titles, playing in the 4s with the late and great Nick Unkovich. And Murray Dixon in those days played a lot of bowls both with Bob McDonald and Murray Davis, as we see a toucher from Alan Stewart with his first bowl on this, the 5th end of 15. Desperately needing to score. It's the Stewart and Newton combination. Has Dixon now playing down towards the Mount Smart Road end. Looks as though he's really clipped his green badly with that second bowl, and will drift right across the head here. And Stewart now on the backhand, definitely holding the 1. Looks to be on a narrower line than his first bowl, and it certainly is. You'll see that disappear outside the black bowl of Terry Brunton's. So Terry Brunton just saying to Murray Dixon, endeavour to draw down there on the backhand, get as close as you can, get second shot. Looks to be on a wider line. How far is this going to come back towards the centre line? It'll get its way back towards the centre line, but still over the head by about a metre. So here's a chance for Alan Stewart to capitalise on the head. He's certainly got a good metre to draw another shot. Got a better width or better line with this bowl. It breaks now towards. It's got to sit on these black bowls of the Pakuranga combination, and it does. And that would roll in for another shot. And Terry Brunton indicating there's a metre to draw to the second shot. So here is now Murray Dixon, former courier man, on the backhand. And again, very, very narrow, well under the line. It's a great chance here yet again for the combination of Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. Looked narrow out of his hand. We let it go when he delivered the bowl. Certainly looked to be under the centre line, and it is well under the centre line. As I say, the very good thing about having the greens marked, it's very easy from a commentary position to see very, very quickly whether the bowl, in fact, is online. You'll notice watching the Australian greens now that they have them very, very. They've got lines and marks all over the place, which for the commentary guys makes it. Makes it great, and for the players as well, because they can clearly see where their line is to the arc of the bowl. So here's now Terry Brunton playing what is his third bowl in his second block of two, and looks to be sitting on the wide side, and it is. So Glenn Newton here's got plenty of room to draw another counting shot on the backhand. He's got a metre to draw a counter. Looks to be on a reasonably good line. Looks to have reasonably good weight as well as it breaks now and towards the head, and it certainly will. Gets a touch on the jack. Sits right inside that centre line. Might see now a change of hand from the Pakuranga side and try to come down, reaching for it on the forehand to get down to the jack or the counting bowls. But no, Brunton is going to persist down on that backhand side, trying to get down to where the counting bowls are to get the second shot. Looks to be on a good line. May well get second shot out of this. Just depends on what Glenn Newton does. Alan Stewart gives us any indication of what the head looks like. And they're holding two shots. It's the Stewart-Newton combination. So onto the backhand again is Glenn Newton. Definitely holding two shots was the indication. See how this bowl, just waiting for this bowl to break towards the head. And I don't think that's made any difference. But they've definitely scored. There's a 2. 11-2 now after 5 of the 15 ends. And the match been brought up by Alan Stewart. The lead for the Stewart-Newton combination. The match been brought up quite a distance. And the jack's delivered. In fact, I think the question will be, is it up or not? Jack is up quite a distance. Alan Stewart's indicating it's not. The jack hasn't been delivered to the required length of 22, around about 22 metres. So the jack's taken back. Murray Dixon's moved the mat deeper back towards the ditch end of the green, and just wait for that scoreboard to change over. Might be better to change the scoreboard instead of having a smoke. But jack's been delivered by Murray Dixon. And it is 11-2. 3/4 length head as Glenn Newton moves the jack over onto that centre line. So Alan Stewart on the forehand. And I can tell you in the Mike Galloway semi-final, the board's changed again. And Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon lead Utu Vave and Luke Matiora by 10 shots to 0. 10-0. As you see this bowl of Alan Stewart just come by. The head goes by about a metre. Had a good line though to the jack. Dixon will be onto his favoured backhand. Playing up towards the clubhouse here on finals day of the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Piers at the Royal Oak Bowling Club in Auckland. See, Martin Dixon's Murray Dixon's just slide by. You'll see the board now 11-2 after 5 of 15 ends. And we'll be back, of course, with the final this afternoon, bringing you bowl by bowl action of that final as Alan Stewart on the forehand certainly looks to be on a better line again with this bowl. Makes its way towards the jack. This is a good second bowl from Stewart and all but touch the jack, sits just alongside it. And although they're 11-2 up, there's still a lot of ends left, and you're playing the full, your full number of bowls. So there's big numbers that can be scored, as we've seen so far, because a 6 was scored on the very first end. So here's now Murray Dixon. Looks wide on that backhand, and they'll change over with the Murray Dixon, Terry Brunton side leading 11 shots to 2 after 5 of 15 ends. Thanks, of course, to Tamara and Bowls New Zealand, who were able to bring this excellent coverage to you throughout the day. And we urge anyone that wants to jump on board. It's on the Royal Oak YouTube channel and the Bowls New Zealand Facebook page as well. So please jump on board and share it with friends, etc. The more the merrier. Watching these events is great. So 11-2 as we watch this Terry Brunton bowl, and just to try and get to the Alan Stewart bowl. Just going to sit outside the bowl, still with a 1 shot to the Stewart-Newton combination, who trailed 11 shots to 2. On the forehand, we'll see now Glenn Newton from the Auckland Bowling Club. Watching this bowl of Newton's, just going to run short of weight. Was certainly on a good line. Need a metre of weight was the call from Alan Stewart, wearing the Adam Johnson memorial shirts today. Adam Johnson, of course, a bowler from the Mangere Club here in Auckland and also in the Manawatu, who sadly passed away about 12, 18 months ago and played around the greens of New Zealand. Very respected young man, and they're wearing the Adam Johnson memorial shirts. As we see this bowl of Glenn Newton's, looks to be on a pretty good line as well. Just question how's the weight going to be as the weight starts to come off now. Certainly had the line to the jack. On the backhand now is Brunton. Definitely one down. Of course, Terry Brunton, Murray Dixon using, let's say, some of the older style bowls, which certainly the have a great drawing ability on greens such as this. They'll draw back to the centre line, as we saw that bowler Terry Brunton do just that, but about a metre short. So Glenn Newton certainly got wider with this second bowl. He's going to go by with weight. So he's played his 4 bowls. 11-2, 11-2. Dixon and Brunton lead after 5 of the 15 ends. Bit of cloud cover just coming over here, and just feel a slight drop in the temperatures. And so I look out towards the east, I can see a bit of cloud cover that sits out to the easterly direction here from Royal Oak, but right in front of us, the famous One Tree Hill statue that stands there, stood proudly for many, many years, of course. The old philosophy always used to be, you know, the rain's coming when you can't see One Tree Hill. Well, it's very, very clear out in front of us. So weather-wise, we look to be perfect for the day. So here now is Alan Stewart playing down on his forehand, trying to just get past the bowl of Glenn Newton's by about a metre. It's coming past it now. No runs into the short bowl. And will still just be the one shot to the combination of Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. Dixon again onto the backhand. Will try and draw past their own bowl in front by about a metre. It's on its way to Dixon bowl. Just Terry Brunton's very keen on this one now, is it? Just going to go by. Certainly had a good line. And indication from Glenn Newton to Alan Stewart. Just get past those 2 short bowls in front, the blue and the brown bowl. And you'll count. So it's on the wider line, this bowl of Stewart's. How far back will it come? It's not going to come back enough. So the Terry Brunton saying to Murray Dixon, if you can get a couple of rolls onto the blue bowl, you certainly make shot of it. Terry Brunton very keen on this bowl. Just question, is it going to be slightly narrow under the line? Yes, it is. You might get a slide. I don't think will be enough. He did get the slide. Don't think it'll be enough. Only one shot to the Glenn Newton, Alan Stewart combination, and it is. So now 11-3. 11-3 after 6 of the 15 ends. And Mike Galloway leading 10-1, 10-1 in the other semi-final. A couple of greens away. That's Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon up against Utuvave and Luke Matiaroa in the other semi-final here of the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 pairs. So Jack's been delivered by Glenn Newton away from the clubhouse down towards the Mount Smart Road end on the forehand. Looks as though it's just going to go by with some width, and it does. 15 ends, no time limit. And it's a format of 242. So Terry Brunton playing his first on this, the 7th end. Definitely on a far good line. Just question the weight. Breaks past the jack now, goes by just by a couple of feet. Glenn Newton playing his second bowl. He's brought that line in towards the jack. How far is it going to come back? It's coming back towards the centre line now. Will it stop in time to make shot? Needs to fall in. But that just sits up on the centre line to the Terry Brunton bowl. That's certainly the shot, as they'll now change over and play the 4 bowls, which will be played by Alan Stewart and Murray Dixon. And good second bowl here from Brunton. Just falls in down in front of the jack by a couple of feet. And will definitely be 2 to the Brunton and Dixon combination as the skips change over. It's the Royal Oak Club, formerly the Onehunga Bowling Club. And this club's come about by the formation of what was the Onehunga Club and the Hillsborough Club, which was situated a kilometre and a bit just up the road here, just off Hillsborough Road. And of course, Onehunga has been based here for a number of years and has had well over its 100 years of existence. And certainly of latter years has had a number of New Zealand representatives in the men, of course, Danny Delaney, Crystal Eve, who used to play here, another former member, of course, Scott Cottrell, of course, who played for New Zealand age group. And in the women, they had a number of years back, of course, Marlene Castle was a member here at Onehunga when playing for New Zealand. So they certainly had their and both Onehunga and Hillsborough certainly had a fine array of players in the years gone by. As I watched Stewart on the backhand trying to get down to the Brunton shot bowl, may well get second shot, needs to get into the centre line. It's going to finish jack level. Just see Terry Brunton indicating that the Dixon-Brunton combination holding the one shot as they lead 11-3. So here now is Murray Dixon. On his forehand. Looks to be on a good line. Looks on a very, very good line, but it's just going to go by. It sits on, in fact, turned out one of the Glenn Newton bowls, and the Dixon bowl will sit about a metre behind the head, but still just the one shot. And we'll see Alan Stewart try and endeavour to draw in between the blue jack level bowl and the front black Terry Brunton bowl, which is shot. Alan Stewart looks at closely, but again is under the line. And great weight to draw the shot, but certainly narrow on the line. Dixon come down on the forehand. Plenty of room to try and draw a second shot. Certainly got the bowl out on a good delivery line, on a good green line towards the jack. Terry Brunton likes this bowl as it makes its way to, crawls towards the head, sits on the shot bowl, and that in fact will be 2. I just wonder whether we'll see now Alan Stewart attack the head. That looks like what's going to happen. They're going to attack with weight. Endeavour to get a split on the 2 bowls. It's on its way. It's coming down very quick. Got the split clean and removed both of those counting bowls off the head and leaving the Newton side, Newton Stewart side, holding 1, maybe 2 shots. So Murray Dixon will come on his forehand, plenty of room. He's got a metre, in fact, one would think, to draw the shot. It's on its way. Looks to be out of the hand. Looked to be on that wider line, though. How far will it come back? Don't think it'll come back far enough. Can't quite see at the moment. And did come back all the way. Couldn't quite see that line as it broke in towards the head. So Alan Stewart still indicating that they're holding 1 shot. And really, chaps, all I'll be trying to do here is to try and draw another one. Because it's getting the points on the board that you need. So Glenn Newton now from the Auckland Bowling Club on the forehand. Looks for his bowls to be on a reasonably good line. They're going to come inside the black bowl. If it comes inside a black bowl or turns the black bowl out, will certainly make shot. And just goes by. And Murray Dixon saying to Terry Brundon, follow that bowl down on your forehand. So Terry Brundon looking at this one very closely as it comes down towards the head. Looks to be a good bowl, this one of Terry Brundon's, and it is. In fact, draws front toucher. Now, of course, the only option for the Newton-Stewart combination is to play down with weight on the backhand, try and dislodge the shot bowl or get the jack. It's on its way and is on the wide side, gets nothing, and will definitely be one's a indication from Murray Dixon. So here is Terry Brundon playing his last bowl. This the 7th of 15 ends, holding one shot. Looks to be on a good line yet again. Not going to have the weight though, so it's another one to the Brunton-Dixon combination, who now lead 12 shots to 3 after 7 of 15 ends in this semi-final of the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Piers at the Royal Oak Bowling Club in Auckland in sunny, bright conditions. And we hope you enjoy this coverage that we'll bring to you right throughout the day. And I can tell that Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon, after 6 ends, are leading Utu Vave and Luke Matiaroa 13 shots to 1. 13 shots to 1. It is Galloway and Dixon that is leading. So Jack's being delivered down towards the clubhouse end here at Royal Oak. So here, Murray Dixon, that looks to be under the line slightly. He might get a touch on the jack. No, he doesn't. Slides by. Just missing that weight, that line fractionally. And as I said, we'll bring you updates as well from Dunedin, from the Speight's Northeast Valley Singles, which is quarter-final time at present down there. I can tell you that this morning games see Murray Scott of Nelson playing Caleb Hope of Johnsonville, Andrew Kelly of Canterbury playing Tom Tairoa of Kaikorai in Dunedin, Shannon McElroy of Stoke in Nelson playing Andy McLean of Northeast Valley, Sheldon Begley Howley of Gore playing Finbar McGuigan of Stokes Valley. When those results come through, we'll keep you posted on those. I do know, however, that there's every likelihood they would have some challenging weather conditions down there for the day, but we'll. And of course, congratulations to our blackjack players, Caitlin Inch, on winning the Queensland singles yesterday over Chloe Stewart 25-24, and also with Julie Keegan defending her Queensland State Pairs title, which they won a couple of days ago, and to Krista Leave, who won the Queensland Pairs, defeating the number 1 Australian player, Aaron Sheriff, on an extra end. So congratulations to our 2 Australian-based blackjack squad members who have had very, very good results over there in Queensland. And of course, resultant from that, they will now go forward as well and play in the Australian Champion of Champions that is played in May of next year at the Dandenong Club in Melbourne. So they will be representing Queensland. To see this bowler Terry Brundon sit just lower the jack, about 15 inches lower the jack on that backhand side, as we see Newton now on the backhand after Stewart played 2 very, very short bowls, and it's a very scattered head. It looks a better bowl from Glenn Newton as it breaks its way towards the head. So Going to get down towards the jack. Is certainly on a good line to get all the way down. Just falls a bowl short. So Terry Brunton again. And Royal Oak, of course, this club here offers a full facility of bowls and business house bowls and casual bowls, and it's a 365 day of the year venue here. It's the Royal Oak Club, of course. There's a lot of venue hire goes on here, a lot of social events that are hosted here at Royal Oak. Business house bowls is very, very active here as the season gets underway. A very competitive club as well. And of course, the Royal Oak Rockets, part of the televised Bowls 3-5 event. So Royal Oak certainly one of the very proactive clubs here in Auckland, as I see Glenn Newton turn the Pakuranga bowl out of the head, cleanly out of the head, and we'll leave the Stewart-Newton combination holding 2 shots. So anyone in Auckland who wants to come and have a go at the sport of lawn bowls or the hospitality around it, or play business house bowls, certainly would recommend Royal Oak being one of those, along with the Ponsonby Bowling Club as well, because now Bowls New Zealand are in fact based at the Ponsonby Bowling Club, and the producer of what we're doing today, Tamara, is the person who looks after the running of the Ponsonby Bowling Club, and a big part of the calendar for this year is the Bowls 3-5 Business House Bowls, which gets underway in a couple of weeks' time at the Ponsonby Club during the week. And I'm sure if you gave Tamara a ring at Bowls New Zealand, they would welcome any business house groups that want to get together and have a few hours of enjoyment, either at Ponsonby or here at Royal Oak. They'd certainly be made more than welcome. As we see, Newton turn a bowl, playing with weight, in fact turned over one of the Alan Stewart blue bowls into the head, and will count, they're holding 2, may well be 3, but they're trailing 12-3, of course, after 7 of the 15 ends here at the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Piers at the Royal Oak Bowling Club. As you watch this bowl just go by or draw all the way around behind the jack, and it does. What a magnificent bowl from Terry Brunton, just drew round the black bowl out to the front, the right-hand side of the screen, drew all the way around to sit virtually dead on the centre line. Alan Stewart indicating that they're still holding the 1 shot is the Stewart side. Maybe 1 down, he's saying, which I think from where I'm looking looks more likely. As we'll see now, Glenn Newton will try and reach to the brown bowl or the blue bowl just with a yard of weight, which could turn the bowl of Terry Brunton's right out of the head. Certainly got good weight to play the shot, but definitely on the wide side, and stayed on that wide side as the skips will now change over. And again, for those watching today, Bowls 3-5, which we spoke about, is the televised event which Bowls New Zealand hosts on Sky TV, which just got underway last week, and that's the 2020 version of bowls, becoming very, very popular. So the skips make their way back to the mat. And I favour the Terry Brunton bowl, the black bowl, and behind the jack as the shot bowl. See, Murray Dixon will play now on that favoured backhand, playing up towards the clubhouse on end 8 of 15. Certainly, it looks to be on the wide line, and it is going by. So we'll see Alan Stewart endeavour to reach up to get to the the blue bowl out in front of the head or the brown bowl, get a turn onto it, onto the jack or the shot bowl, and make shot of it. He certainly got to endeavour to score to catch up to this very, very tidy, significant lead, which, mind you, yesterday in the final of the Queensland singles, of which Caitlin Inch was the winner. We saw 25-24. As we see, this bowler Stewart's get a touch, but not enough. In fact, Caitlin Inch was leading that game over Chloe Stewart 15-1 in the race to 25. And the final score resulted in a 25-24 win to Caitlin Inch. So you're never out of it. You just got to hang in there, try and score, as Dixon now plays his last bowl on the 8th end. On the backhand, looks narrow and is narrow, I'm sure. So we'll see now the same shot being played by Ellen Stewart. Trying to reach up to the... And he's narrow. He's not going to do anything with that. So out comes the measure. Ellen Stewart, of course, indicated that they still had the shot. So we'll see. And it was 1 to the Glenn Newton-Ellen Stewart combination. So playing now right out in front of us, the clubhouse where Jack's going to be delivered. Mike Galloway leading 13-2 in his semi-final. 13-2, Mike Galloway leading Luke Matiora. Jack's been delivered. Just checking whether the jack has been delivered far enough up. No, it hasn't. Back it comes. So 8 ends gone to 15, and it's Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton that lead 12 shots to 4 after 8 of the 15 ends. So 3/4 length head, as Murray Dixon will just move the jack across to that mark centre line. So here's the first bolt of Glenn Newton's. Looks as though it's going to be slightly narrow and under that centre line. Terry Brunton on that wider line certainly looked very wide out of the hand, and it is. He sort of walks away from it. We play down towards the One Tree Hill end here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club. Perfect conditions here in Auckland today. No wind. We hope that you're enjoying this coverage in your Labour weekend, long weekend. Of course, don't forget tomorrow night on Sky, you'll be able to watch action tomorrow night, in fact Wednesday and Wednesday night. You'll be able to watch the Bowls 3-5, the televised event, hosted by Brenda Van Nistelrooy and the world #1 leading women's bowls player, living back in New Zealand now, Joe Edwards. I'll be hosting that on TV along with Miles Davis. So jump onto Sky and watch this fantastic televised event that Bowls New Zealand host. And of course the Royal Oak Rockets, where we are based today, the Royal Oak Rockets are part of that Bowls 3-5 event with 8 teams from around the country. And I see here today there's 2 members of the Manurewa side, who just had a win last week, in fact, in their first week in the Bowls 3-5. The Manurewa Kites, David Clark and Shane Drabble, part of that side, and they're playing here out in front of us, in fact, in this Royal Oak Clif Shanks Memorial pairs. I see now Murray Dixon saw the first bowl of Alan Stewart's narrow slide away under the head. As Dixon very deliberate on the mat, on the forehand, holding shot. Terry Brunton bowl, jack level. It's definitely the shot bowl. Another good looking bowl from Dixon as it breaks towards the jack and is going to sit just alongside the jack. Definitely holding two. Stewart now's got to follow that on the draw, down on that forehand side, endeavouring to sit on the shot bowl or get a trail on the jack. It's on a good line. It's going to hold up long enough. Yes, it does. And rolled the shot bowl out of the head, but touched the jack as well, moved it to the side off the centre line, and will still leave the Brunton-Dixon combination holding the shot. So here, Murray Dixon looks to be on the wider side, and it is. Glenn Newton checking the head. Certainly looks as though it's one down, as Alan Stewart will play his third bowl. On this, the 9th of 15 ends. On his backhand, turn the brown bowl of Glenn Newton's over as well. He's got a chance of making shot there as it comes down towards the jack. Is he going to get a touch on the jack again? No, just went by. More than likely had too much weight to get that shot really. Still, again, every opportunity for Murray Dixon on that forehand side to draw a counter. It's on its way. The Dixon bowl again is on that good drawing line back towards the centre line. How far is it going to come back? It just runs by. It's got a metre of running past the jack. So again, we'll see on the backhand side, Alan Stewart can either turn the bowl into the head, that being the Glenn Newton bowl, or draw underneath it to make shot. But going to certainly be narrow. Needs luck to sit on the bowl of Brunton's. In fact, sat on the outside of the bowl and just rolled it in closer to the head. And it's the danger, of course, of what I would call cutting your green on the draw. Just eliminate your percentages of getting good results. So here again is Murray Dixon of the Pakuranga Bowling Club on the forehand. Be short. And today, of course, no one can blame conditions because we've got no wind, very good green running at 16 seconds. So it's all in the players' hands really, because they've got everything in their favour. So back to the mat they come, and Glenn Newton surveying the situation. So Glenn Newton on the mat, playing down on that backhand, just looked to give it a bit of a flick on the way out. Certainly playing with a lot of weight, and didn't really. He moved his own bowls around, but didn't affect the shot bowl, which is sitting on top of the jack. Mike Galloway in his semi-final over Utu Vava and Luke Matiaroa. That's Galloway and Martin Dixon are leading 12 shots to 6. So again now, we'll see this last bowl on this, the 9th end. Glenn Newton trying to play with a lot of weight again, playing down to the black bowls of the counting bowls of the Stewart combination, remove one, but certainly didn't remove what is the shot bowl, and leaving the Dixon Brunton side holding one shot, and plenty of room around that front bowl for Terry Brunton to draw another shot on that wide arc draw to the jack. Looks to be on a very good line. If he gets past this bowl, it's close to be counting again, and it is. Just draws and gets a touch on the jack. And in fact, because it's moved at the other side of the centre line, may still only be the one shot, and it is the one. You'll see he moved the jack across the centre line. So a further one to Terry Brunton and Murray Dixon as they continue this onslaught. 13-6 it is after 8 ends. Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon leading Utu Vave and Luke Matiaroa in the other semi-final here at the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Pairs at the Royal Oak Bowling Club here in Auckland. Jack's been delivered by Murray Dixon. And of course you can watch this coverage on the Facebook, go to the Royal Oak Facebook page or the Bowls New Zealand page, and you're able to watch this coverage brought to you by Tamara, the setter up of this TV studio we've got here, and Alistair. It's a wonderful job, does Tamara, bringing this coverage. As we watch now, Murray Dixon on his backhand. Got that draw towards the jacks on a good line. How's the weight? Just going to drop a fraction of weight. Certainly on a good line to get back to that centre line. Leading 13 shots to 4 after 9 of the 15 ends. Alan Stewart now on the mat to play his first bowl on this 10th end. You'll see the blue bowl, Alan Stewart's. So a good line to the jack. This bowler Stewart's in fact going to draw the jack, just caress the jack on the way through. Moved it about 9 inches off the centre line, falls over and towards the head, and will certainly beat the shot bowl. I need a lot of those, does the Stewart-Newton combination. So here's now Murray Dixon on his backhand. Definitely one down. It's on a very, very good line, this bowl of Dixon's. If it gets past just the short bowl of Brunton's, just crept his way past it. Did it get past enough for shot? May well have, in fact. So on the forehand again is Alan Stewart with his second bowl. So the skips change over in this semi-final match. So I've just got a photo sent through to me, by the way, of that from the North East Valley, and let's say it's damp. I can see there's a game being played between Caleb Hope and Murray Scott. But the green is certainly underwater. There's a lot of water there for sure. So they may well have a day of interruption down in Dunedin, the final day of the Spates North East Valley singles. As we just see Terry Brunton draw another shot, which he's done a number of those throughout this game, drawing around the front short bowl of Murray Dixon. As you watch this bowl, Glenn Newton's trying to reach up to the shot bowl. Needs a bit of luck, gets the luck, got a feather, sits on top of the jack, just feathered its way past. So Terry Brunton changes hand. See to the forehand. See the jack's just been ever so slightly moved off the centre line. So Brunton now playing up towards the clubhouse here at Royal Oak. Murray Dixon's very keen on this bowl. Certainly going to have every opportunity. He's done it again. As Terry Brunton sits on what was the shot bowl. Touches the jack. So here's a scoring chance here for the Stewart and Newton combination. If they can draw up on that forehand, get movement of the jack by about 12 inches. Move the jack towards the two blue bowls there of Alan Stewart. And close to getting that result is Glenn Newton, and he certainly moved the jack, and it's moved for 3 shots. Well played by the Auckland Bowling Club skip, or not the skip in this, he's playing in the middle, playing 4 bowls as we watch this bowler, Terry Brunton's, certainly on a wider line, which it needs to be because the jack has been moved. And he's going to do it again as Brunton, that's the shot, and draws directly in behind the jack by about 15 inches. And I just hear Alan Stewart saying to Glenn Newton, you're going to have to draw it down here on this forehand side, and that's certainly what he's endeavouring to do. It's on a pretty good line, just question what the weight, though the weight's going to be a bit too quick to come all the way back, and it just goes by a metre. So here now is Brunton leading 13-4, 13-4 as we play the 10th end, 10 of 15. As another good bowl looks to be coming in here from Terry Brunton, just a question on the weight, but certainly on a good line, and is going to sit alongside what is his other bowl. He will be 2. I just wonder, it is 2, I just wonder whether they may try and attack those 2 bowls of Terry Brunton's, because it leaves a lot of room to draw. Terry Brunton certainly played 4 magnificent bowls on this, the 10th end, and is playing with that weight that we spoke about, trying to get to the 2 black bowls, and goes by and got nothing. Ends running out now for the Glenn Newton, Alan Stewart combination. 2 down on the head here and trailing 13-4 as we play in 10 of 15. Starting to, if the Pakuranga side score again here, certainly making life difficult. 13-7 now, Michael Galloway and Martin Dixon lead Utu Vave and Luke Matiaroa in the other semi-finals. As we watched Murray Dixon on his forehand, looked a wee bit narrower on the line out of his hand, as I can see Terry Brunton clapping the bowl, and will count, and sits jack level. So now for Alan Stewart, all that's really left is the draw. There's no scoring chances of big numbers, just the draw. Down 3 on the head, certainly don't want to be sitting at 16-4 after 10 ends, and it looks as though he is going for the drive. It's on its way, trying to get to the 3 counting bowls, and got 2 of them, leaving it still the 1 bowl of the Pakuranga combination. Sitting jack level, the shot. So on the forehand again, there's Dixon. Certainly looks to be on that wider line. Just how far will it come back? And it goes by, and just the 1 down, it went way by the head, a couple of metres, indicated by Glenn Newton. It's just the 1 shot, but of course all can be done by Alan Stewart is to try and draw the shot, score the 1. It's on its way. And draws right to the jack, does Alan Stewart. Great draw bowl by the skip of the Newton Stewart side, scoring a single there. 13-5 now, 13-5. He had to score on that end to sort of keep them live in the game. So, of course, we will be bringing you, later on today, we'll be bringing you the final of this event at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we'll have the final of the Clif Shanks Memorial Pairs here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club in Auckland. We'll have a bowl-by-bowl action for the afternoon of that final, as we see Glenn Newton played his first bowl down towards the Mount Smarty end as it breaks towards the head. Just going to drop short by about half a metre. Terry Brunton again will stay on that forehand. He's persevered with. He's certainly got that line well mastered. Just going to go by on the wide side. So again, Glenn Newton now short, slightly, about half a metre with his first. Looks to be on a better line with this bowl if he gets past his own bowl, and he does just slides past his own front bowl and sits just in behind the jack. Sits just outside the centre line by about 15 inches. And Terry Brunton, he's certainly, for only the first time since the first end, I would say, certainly undercut his green and drift right across the head, so the skips change over. And Michael Galloway led in one semi-final 13-7 after 9 of the 15 ends. And Murray Dixon lead in 13-5 after 10 of the 15 ends in the semi-final that we're bringing to you. So here's the Alan Stewart bowl, making its way into the head. In fact, turned over the bowl of Glenn Newton's, and would certainly count. Murray Dixon quickly on the mat, onto that backhand side, endeavouring to draw past the short bowl of Terry Brunton sitting out there on that backhand side. Got a very good arcing wide bowl has the Murray Dixon, but definitely too wide on that particular occasion. And 3 shots being held by the Stewart and Newton combination. And this bowl, second bowl, Stewart's, it's on a good wide arc to the head. Will count as well. So here now, Murray Dixon on his backhand, 4 down on the head, certainly brought that line in now, down towards that jack line. Is it going to come back all the way to the jack? Certainly, and drawn the shot. Sits just inside the brown bowl of Glenn Newton's and makes shot of it. Just drew underneath the, as we'd said earlier on, and just a draw under the black bowl of Terry Brunton's out there on that backhand side of the rink, and drew underneath the bowl, sat on it neatly for shot. So Alan Stewart will endeavour to emulate that shot, playing with reaching weight, breaking down towards the head now. Always looked on the wide side, had ditch weight, but always looked to be with additional weight, had too much green on it. So here is Murray Dixon again. Pakuranga Club here in Auckland. He's on that same line again under the Brunton bowl. Now breaks towards the head and will draw another counter. Draws just down Jack Lowe, and Glenn Newton indicating that may well be counting as well. Some great recovery there from Murray Dixon. Looks like we're on the charge, on the drive. Alan Stewart stands on the mat, rocks backwards and forwards, driving on the forehand, flies off the mat, got the front bowl, got the jack, just moved it out to the side and will stay alive. And leaves the Stewart Newton side holding 3 shots, but a lot of room to draw the shot. So Murray Dixon now, good couple of metres at least to draw on that forehand side. So Murray Dixon, 3 down, certainly delivered the bowl out to get a good arc back towards the centre line, and he's going to do that. Just a matter of how far it runs by the jack, and now looking to see if it's come alive or not. But I can see where I'm sitting. It certainly to me looks as though it's sitting actually on the line. Alan Stewart having a look, and Alan Stewart actually saying that it's out. So there's some debate now. Umpire being called with the laser to see if the bowl of Murray Dixon's is in or out. I'm looking just about down the centre line, down that sideline from here. And Winglam and Les Smith. And this will be close to see whether it's in or out. So the umpire puts the mirror down on the outside marker. See the mirror sitting in the ditch and indicating that the bowl in fact is out. That leaves the Newton-Stewart combination holding 3 shots. So Glenn Newton, all he's got to do is draw on the forehand and make sure he comes alive. And he'd certainly have a counter. But still a lot of room for Terry Brunton to draw the shot or reduce as we watch this bowl of Newton's flyby really and comes back to the centre line, but was certainly going fairly quick on the way through. So Terry Brunton, he'll get his bowl out on that good wide drawing arc. It's just what he's doing. Just question how far is it now going to run. It comes by now and will be the shot, I would say, or it comes to the centre line. No, it's not. And the indication from Alan Stewart is that still holding 3 shots, and now we're seeing Newton changing his hand on the backhand to draw down to where the counting bowls are and to try and draw in that nest. We'll come back to Wood, but he's going to be very, very short. So plenty of room here for Terry Brunton to at least get second shot. Certainly out on that good wide drawing arc. Now is it breaking back towards the jack, which is just outside the centre line, and it looks just got to get past the blue bowls and may well be shot, in fact. And Murray Dixon thinks it's shot. And is shot. Terry Brunton with his last bowl made sure of it. Now 14-5 after 11 of 15 ends. And 13-8 now after 10 ends. 13-8 Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon lead Utu Vave and Luke Matiaroa as they race to the 15 ends. So 14-5 now to Dixon and Brunton, and the Stewart-Newton combination actually running out of ends in this semi-final here. And as I say, we will update you from Northeast Valley as well as results come in. From a, looks a very damp Northeast Valley in Dunedin. So Murray Dixon has delivered the jack up towards the clubhouse end. And coming back towards the centre line, just going to go by the centre line, a couple of metres over the head. Alan Stewart now playing his first bowl on this, the 12th end. And that bowl of Alan Stewart breaks virtually right back to the centre line, just sits slightly outside the centre line by about half a metre and will be the shot. Alan Stewart, of course, now plays out of the Tikawata Club in the Waikato, and formerly of Thames Valley, and also played for Thames Valley and also played for Waikato as well. As we watch the Murray Dixon bowl just fall over, and that'll make shot. Here now is Stewart again, that very deliberate sort of the stare as he lets the ball, delivers the bowl. It's on a good line, this bowl of Alan Stewart's going to sit inside and roll through for shot, and does. That's certainly a shot bowl played by Alan Stewart. So perfect conditions here at Royal Oak on finals day of the Clif Shanks Memorial Piers. So Terry Brunton on the mat from the Pakuranga Club, based out at Lloyd Elsmore Park. On the backhand is Terry Brunton, is it? So again on that very consistent drawing arc, coming back towards the centre line, just going to miss on a fraction of weight. Two shots to the Stewart-Newton combination. Again, that forces Glenn Newton to play on his backhand. He doesn't want to run into the short Terry Brunton bowl. Just question the weight now. Certainly on a better line. Finishes in front, may well make shot of it. Another shot. Terry Brunton on his backhand. This looks to be certainly on that wider line. Just question that weight now. Not going to come back far enough to the centre line. Was certainly on the right line, as Murray Dixon just said, needs more than likely half a metre of weight. So now a change of hand by Glenn Newton. Played down on his forehand, trying to get to the blue counting bowls. On that wider line, more than likely it will be too wide. In this case, just on the way through. So the objective here for Terry Brunton, they lead 14-5 as we play in 12. Is to endeavour to draw past his own front bowl, draw back to the centre line. And just going to go by a metre. And of course, we'll be bringing you throughout the summer of bowls. We'll be bringing you, in conjunction with Bowls New Zealand, Sky and Stuff, we'll be bringing you all of the live action from all of the major events right around the country, right throughout the whole summer. And they'll be all posted on the Bowls New Zealand website. And you'll be able to, over the summer break, you'll be able to watch live bowls on a pretty regular basis. Be hosted by Brenda Van Nistelrooy and myself right throughout the summer of bowls, of Bowls New Zealand's summer of bowls. So Murray Dixon trying to encourage this last bowl of Terry Brunton, not quite in the. So Glenn Newton's got to get past his own brown bowl out to the side. No future in playing the backhand. You've got to play the forehand to either turn that brown bowl over or just draw past it and make 3, possibly 4 of it. As they need points at this point, trailing 14-5, they certainly need a good scoring end. So it's on its way, this bowl of and turning one of their own blue bowls into the head. Didn't really make much difference. I think it may well be 3 shots. Murray Dixon having a good look. I think it may be 3 that the Stewart-Newton combination hold. And the difficulty or the challenge for Murray Dixon is those short bowls that sit out in front of the head on the backhand side. Just make it a wee bit challenging. But looking at what they're looking at the head now to try and play more than likely with a yard of weight through the head to try and get to the brown bowl of Glenn Newton's, and that would give them a good result. You can slide past the front of that bowl. Must play with weight through the head to reach that brown bowl, because any movement of the jack backwards is certainly advantageous as well to the Brunton-Dixon combination. It's on its way, trying to get down that line that we spoke about. Looks to be very narrow though. That's the weight. They certainly play with reaching weight. Chance there to either get what is one of the possible counting bowls and get to the jack, and then for the jack to move back where the 2 black bowls sit down and behind the deeper end of the rink there. And it looks a little. This bowl, Alan Stewart, just got to sit inside the black bowl, and this will count. Certainly does. This will be the shot itself. Alan Stewart, no doubt about that. It's a matter of whether it's 3 or it's 4. And Terry Brunton indicating again to Murray Dixon, and that's the shot to play. Just got to more than likely play it with more weight. So you've definitely got to play it on that narrow line. It's on its way, and it's on that wider line, just a matter of what it's going to get, and in fact got nothing. Well, got one of their own bowls, just rolled it into the head, and won't make any change at all. And looking from here, it looks at could well be 4 shots. Let's see whether Alan Stewart with his last bowl on this, the 12th end, can add to the count. And again, looks to be on a good line. Just got to sit inside this black bowl and it will count. And no matter which way it rolled, so we'll have certainly 3 there. Brought the 3 out. Now looking at the others to see whether just the 3 by the look of it. Looked as though that front brown bowl didn't come into the count. See when that board gets changed over. 12 ends gone of 15 as the sun really comes out now. Blue sky and just a wisp of cloud out to the easterly direction. looking down to One Tree Hill. It was in fact a 4. So 39 now after 12 of 15. That all of a sudden opens the door up for an opportunity for the Stewart and Newton combination after scoring that 4. So was Glenn Newton playing his first bowl, playing down towards the Mount Smart Road end. Just comes by, sits in towards the centre line. About a metre behind. Terry Brunton. It makes a big difference to the scoreboard. 12 ends gone. This bowler, Terry Brunton, looks as though it's going to hang on the wide side. So the big opportunity here for Glenn Newton to draw his second bolt as close to the jack as possible. Putting the pressure certainly on the Dixon-Brunton combination. And it's on a good line, this bowl of Glenn Newton's. In fact, it's going to draw right to the jack. Got a touch on the jack. Sits just in front of it. Toucher. Very good. 2 opening bowls from Glenn Newton on this, the 13th of 15 ends. Need to capitalise on that 4 that they've just scored. The game will certainly tighten up on those last 2 ends. So Terry Brunton looks to be on a good line as well. Just going to go by. Gets a touch on the jack. Does it? Sits. In fact, front toucher. Off comes the cap from Murray Dixon. Certainly played that draw shot superbly well, did Terry Brunton, and drew a toucher and sits just now mere centimetres low of the jack. So I'm sure we're going to see Alan Stewart try and play with a wee bit of reaching weight to try and dislodge that shot bowl out of the head. 13-8, 15-8. Mike Galloway leading Luke Mataroa in the other semi-final. As we said, thought Stewart would play with that reaching weight to try and get onto the brown second shot bowl, which would dislodge the black bowl, which is the shot, of course. It would just shunt completely out of the head. Remembering both of those 2 bowls, the Terry Brunton bowl and the bowl of Glenn Newton, they're both touches. So Dixon now on the mat, holding 1, leading 13-9. On the backhand, holding 1, certainly got very good wider side arc to the head, and we'll finish up. Well, it's not 3rd shot. We'll finish up 4th shot, because that Stewart will certainly be playing that narrower line to get down. Doesn't like it. You saw the head go down, trying to play that yard of weight through the bowls to try and get some contact. He's not far away, though, I can tell you. He rocked the bowls, just didn't quite have the weight to be able to just jar that black bolt out of the head. It's certainly got the next 3 shots, or the next 3 bowls sitting around it. 14-9 after 12 of 15 ends. It's Terry Brunton, Murray Dixon of the Pakuranga Club here in Auckland lead this semi-final. And Dixon, you can see, certainly tightened that line up. It makes its way now towards the head. Sailed by, but over the head, so it's in a good location. And definitely a yard and a bit more of weight required by Alan Stewart to get that desirable backhand result. It's going to go by on the wide side. The only shot really that's available to Alan Stewart to get into a scoring position, to be able to jar that bolt out of the head in the semi-final of the Clif Shanks Memorial 2-4-2 pairs. And Murray Dixon certainly tightened the line up on this bowl, that's for sure. As this now breaks down towards the head's going to sit right alongside. Now that makes it just about impossible now to get that result, because in fact it sits on the second shot bowl, does the Murray Dixon bowl, and would only be a one-shot result now. So it looks as though you're going to see Stewart going for the kill. On the drive is Stewart with the blue bowls. He runs off the mat, goes by, got nothing, just missed by the mere centimetres. Maybe certainly want to attack, get the jack straight back into the, just about go straight into the ditch down behind him. And still the Brunton-Dixon combination though with the Bacchus bowl as we come to the end of end 13 of 15 in the semi-final. And we will endeavour to bring you updates. I can tell you the first quarter final has been completed at the Northeast Speight's Northeast Valley Singles. And the current New Zealand singles title holder and blackjack member and New Zealand male bowler of the year in the season just gone by, Andrew Kelly of Canterbury, has defeated Tom Tairoa of the Kaikarai Club by 21 shots to 4. So Andrew Kelly continuing on that winning way, and we're now through to the finals, the semi-finals this afternoon. And he'll play the winner and the drive there, as was expected from Glenn Newton, and killed that of the 13th end. So big clash possibly this afternoon down there, because Andrew Kelly will now play the winner of the Murray Scott Caleb Hope match, which I did see a photo of about half an hour ago, and the green was very, very much sodden with a lot of water on the green down at Northeast Valley, but they'll certainly be endeavouring to get that through today. Prestigious singles event hosted by the Northeast Valley Club. Of course, this year, because of COVID-19, none of the Australian players, all New Zealand-based Australia players, such as Ali Forsyth or Crystal Eve, Richard Gervin, have made their way to Northeast Valley because of the border restrictions. So all New Zealand field this year at Stokes at Northeast Valley. And Shannon McElroy, the defending champion, going for another win. He this morning though has to get over the quarter-final of the Northeast Valley player Andy McLean. As we see the first bowler, Glenn Newton's now trailing 14-9. Good opening bowl from Glenn Newton. Sits just in behind that jack line. Brunton quickly into his work on the backhand. 15-8 now. Mike Galloway leading 15-8 after 10 of the 15 ends in the other semi-final. The bowler Terry Brunton's just going to fall a wee bit light on weight and green, and sits out by a good couple of metres out from the jack. So here on that forehand side now, ample opportunity for Glenn Newton to draw another counter inside that to the centre line, and he's on a good line. Just going to go by, sit alongside the jack. Two good bowls from the lead. Alan Stewart opened the head up very strongly for them on this, the replay of the 13th end, after Glenn Newton killed the 13th end, which is bowler Brunton's, which is going to be narrow. It's two of the worst bowls he's played in the 13 ends that he's played to date. So the skips change over with Glenn Newton holding 2 shots on the replay. This is the 13th end of 15. So Alan Stewart on the mat with the blue bowls. I can tell you 17-8 now. Mike Galloway leads Luke Amatiaroa in the other semi-final. So here's his first bowl of Alan Stewart's. Looks to be travelling with a wee bit of weight, more than likely on the wide side. Comes back towards or past the 2 metre mark. So Murray Dixon, Pekaranga on the forehand. Definitely 2 down. Terry Brunton looking pretty closely at this bowl. How far is it going to run as it just goes by the centre, comes right back to the centre line and sits in behind the head. Definitely the Newton bowler's shot. In fact, they're holding 2 shots. So Alan Stewart now on the forehand. Sun streaming down here now at the Royal Oak Club. So we're going to have a wonderful afternoon here as we watch this bowl of Alan Stewart's just break towards the jack or sit alongside the Glenn Newton bowl, and that'll certainly be a counter. So holding 3. Murray Dixon with his second bowl on the forehand. He's certainly out on that wider line, and we'll get inside the bowl of Newton's, or sit outside it. Draws on top of, literally drew on top of the Glenn Newton bowl. It would be 3. As I watched Alan Stewart comes to the mat. Stewart again will play on that forehand. Definitely holding 3 shots. On the forehand is Alan Stewart with the blue bowl on a narrower line. How's the weight though as it now makes its way? It needs to sit on one of his own bowls. It's going to go wide over the head. It won't count. Definitely 3. Mike Galloway leading 17-8 after 12 ends in his semi-final. Murray Dixon, yeah, 3 down on the head. Looks to be going by again on that wider side. 14-9 after 12. Big chance here for Alan Stewart to draw another counter. His big thing is not to cut his green and get on that narrower side. Looks though to be going by. Looks to be on the wide side with a bit of weight. 3 down. Here's Murray Dixon as he stands on the mat here at Royal Oak in the semi-final of the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Piers. Certainly he's brought his line in for sure. It's got a bit of weight on it though. Needs to get the inside of this bowl and sits flush on one of the Terry Brunton bowls as they change over on this, the 13th end. And it would be 3 shots being held by Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. As Newton makes his way down towards the mat. So here we've got Glenn Newton playing the last two bowls of this head. Will be Glenn Newton and Terry Brunton. Oh, looks out of the hand, looks very narrow out of the hand. This bolt of Newton's need to sit on. He doesn't want to get the jack. And he was fortunate then he didn't get the jack and move it back. He was under greened. So now Terry Brunton endeavouring to draw to reduce the count, but it's going to go by on the wide side. So here's a great chance for the combination of Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart to draw another shot and certainly put big pressure on Murray Dixon. Certainly got a wider line this time, has Glenn Newton. Breaks towards the head now, needs to be dead draw weight, doesn't want to touch the jack, I can assure you, and just it was slightly narrow on the line, had a yard of weight. Terry Brunton now with his last bowl certainly looks to have better weight as it breaks its way now towards the head, down towards the jack. Is he going to do it again, Brunton, or not? Or if he sits on his own, he might cut out a shot, and I think he has. It's only the two. We'll see in a moment when that board gets changed, but definitely it was the Newton side that scored for sure. So the jack's being delivered now by Alan Stewart. Matt's up a fraction, and it was just the two. So 14-11, 14-11 now after 13 of the 15 ends, and 17-8 after 12 of 15 in the Mike Galloway semi-final. So it's Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton leading Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. 14 shots to 11. Very good comeback by the Newton and Stewart side, because they were certainly on the back rope for sure. 11-0 down. So here's the first bowl of Glenn Stewart. It's gone by a metre. So Terry Brunton now as we play in 14. So Terry Brunton about a metre short. Plenty of room for Alan Stewart here, trailing 14-11. Just got to get past the Brunton bowl. In fact, runs cleanly into it, pushes it back past the head to the centre line, and would be one shot to the Brunton-Dixon combination. So Murray Dixon again now will come down on his backhand. In this semi-final of the Clif Shanks Royal Oak pairs, 2-4-2 pairs here in perfect conditions at the Royal Oak Bowls Club, and just slipped by under the head slightly. Just looking to see who's got shot. And I can tell you again from North East Valley that the world #1 singles player, the current world champion, Shannon McElroy, has defeated Andy McLean of North East Valley by 21 shots to 6. 21 shots to 6. So Andrew Kelly defeated Tom Taroa by 21 to 4. And Shannon McElroy, the defending champion, has defeated Andy McLean by 21 shots to 6. So we see that first bolt of Glenn Newton just dropped past the head. Now here's Brunton on the backhand. So it's a measure for shot, 14-11 as we play Ian 14. It's going to pull up short, slightly short, that bowl of Brunton's. 17-9 now. Mike Galloway leads Luke Matiroa. 17-9 after 13 of 15. As we wind the clock down to the 15 ends. It's Glenn Newton now. Needs to get through this port to the counting area. Needs to get cleanly through and is going to do so. Just drew between the Brunton bowl and the front bowl of Alan Stewart. So that certainly be the shot. Now we'll be looking for Terry Brunton. We'll certainly be looking to get a touch on the jack on that backhand side where there's two bowls waiting there. You can see directly behind the jack on the centre line the Dixon-Brunton combination. Got a couple in the waiting in the catching pen there. It's imperative now for the Stewart combination that they continue down on that forehand line, but endeavouring just to get past the shot bowl and give some cover down on that side of the rink, because the trail of the jack is certainly available to Brunton and Dixon, but looks as though it's been played well, this bowl from Glenn Newton. Turns out to turn onto it. Needed to get another roll out of the bowl, though, really, to give it some cover on the trail on that backhand side, which is exactly what Terry Brunton is trying to do, endeavouring to do on that backhand side. He's looking at this one closely. Looks to be slightly on the wide side to get to the jack, and is. So having a look at the head now is Stewart, indicating that the Stewart and Newton combination holding two shots. Of course, they trail 14-11 as we play in 14. So very big head this, of course. They can pick up two. Going to that last end. Of course, that means if the Brunton and Dixon combination don't make any alterations on the head. Again, this looks a good line to Glenn Newton, just trying to get underneath those bowl of Bruntons, and in fact ran into the front of the jack. Sits right on the centre line. Certainly going to see, I'd say, searching weight down through there by the Pakuranga combination. And that's what Murray Dixon's indicating. Play down there with weight, because they're definitely three down. Yeah, Murray Dixon just indicates that three down for sure. So here's Brunton on the mat. Will play with weight, trying to split these front bowls. It's on its way. Needs to get some break. It's on a good line to get some kit. And they got the jack. Well played by the Terry Brunton. But still, a good opportunity there. That shot was on for the Pakuranga combination. But still a great chance for the Stewart-Newton combination, because if you look at the head now, you can see two bowls of Alan Stewart's and the bowl of Glenn Newton's. The brown bowl of Glenn Newton's is sitting there. So if Stewart moves the jack or dislodges that bowl, that front bowl of Terry Brunton's certainly puts tremendous amount of pressure on Murray Dixon. So here now is Stewart, and he's certainly playing with weight to get to that Brunton bowl. Just goes by only by a couple of centimetres, because they've got the next three shots for sure. It would be a big turnaround on this, the 14th of 15 ends. So no doubt we will see Alan Stewart. He'll attack the head again. So Murray Dixon looks to be on a good line to get to this covering blue bowl down at the back. Going to sit on the inside, and does. So that makes a bit more safety for the Pakuranga combination. I'd say there's still 2 second shots there for the Stewart-Newton combination to play that shot, which only just missed in that last attempt by Alan Stewart. And of course, if he is to get the jack, they do have the Bacchus bowl, and Alan Stewart's bowl may well go with the jack into the ditch. Here's Stewart again, looking for the shot bowl, but in fact got the jack, gone back with it. And that'll be the shot sitting alongside it in the ditch, and that'll be pretty hard to beat. Got a lucky feather on the way through. Now this could be 3 shots. Bowl of Murray, it is 3 shots. Bowl of Murray Dixon's now to come on the forehand. Jack in the ditch. Murray Dixon on the mat. Main thing is for him to get second shot. Very hard to get the shot itself. It's on its way. Needs to get down past this brown bowl. Is it going to get down all the way? I don't know if it's made it all the way. So definitely one. May well have, because it seems to be on a straight line to the jack. So definitely the blue bowl in the ditch is definitely the shot. We may well see the umpire straight away, Mr. Wang, come out, and he'll bring the clothesline out to measure to the jack in the ditch and the bowls. I just think Murray Dixon might have got enough roll. Looking from the monitor here in a straight line, although the brown bowl, it's going to be interesting actually, because just a matter how that straight line to where the jack actually is situated. So we'll see that. Out comes the big white, the big line, the clothesline, and so they'll be measuring the black bowl of the Pakuranga combination. Remembering one shot has already been conceded. That's the shot in the ditch, and then they'll go round and to the jack in the ditch, and of course need someone to hold. So Terry Brunton, he will go to the jack in the ditch and place the tag onto that, and now the umpire will come out to pull that long string, pull it very tight, and he'll go to firstly to that black bowl, make sure everything's all touching. And then swing around. It certainly looks different now as I look from this angle where we're at now. It may be 2 shots. Then it'll come round to the brown bowl in the middle of 3. And second shot is the Murray Dixon, I'd say, made that by 1 roll to get second shot. Otherwise, they were definitely 3 down. It was 1 roll that made second shot. So we're now into the last end. And 14-12, it's Dixon and Brunton. 14-12 leading Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. Newton of the Auckland Bowling Club here in Auckland. Alan Stewart of the Tika Whara Club down the motorway here, up against the Pakuranga combination of Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton in this semi-final. And we'll be back at 1 o'clock with the final of the Clif Shanks, or 2x4x2 pairs here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club in sunny conditions here in Auckland. So the jack's been delivered up towards the clubhouse, and Glenn Newton trying to encourage this bowl back towards the the bowl came right back towards the centre line, about a metre behind. This bowler Brunton's now breaking towards the jack. 17-15 now in the Galloway semi-final, and they're playing the last end, so that's tightened up to 17-15. Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon lead. So here now is Glenn Newton playing his second bowl on the 15th end. Straight away, throws his head in the air. He's narrow for sure. And it's going to go by under the head. In fact, will career down towards the ditch. So Terry Brunton now playing his second bowl. Definitely 1 down. Dixon and Brunton leading by 14 shots to 12 as Murray Dixon watching this bowl very closely. It's going to break by the head, it's just in behind. So you can see the bowl of Glenn Newton's, which is the shot, sitting directly on the centre line, about 22 inches behind the jack. And as I say, the Mike Galloway match, it's Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon up against Uta Vave and Luke Mataroa. It's Galloway and Dixon playing the last end, leading 17-15. So Alan Stewart now with his first bowl on this, the last end. Holding one, trailing 14-12. Playing down towards the clubhouse here on his forehand. Looks narrow. Just depends if it's going to have weight that will finish jack level or run by. It's going to run by past the head. Definitely left his hand on the narrow side. Murray Dixon now, Pakuranga, well performed. Skip, delivers on his forehand. That smooth delivery of Dixon's. This is on a good line, this bowl, as it breaks down towards the jack. This is just drifting nicely in towards the jack. And will make shot of it. Finishes just slightly low of the jack, but will be shot. I think we'll see Stewart change his hand, go to the backhand. And that's what he's doing, going to the backhand, try and get a trail. Or sit on the shot bowl. He's certainly given the bowl a good arc. Comes towards the head now. There's a good attempt by Alan Stewart. There's a great bowl by Stewart on the backhand. Falls in, he's made shot of it. That's the shot, no doubt about that. So here now is Murray Dixon on his forehand. Definitely one down. Leading 14-12 on this, the last end of this semi-final. Looks to be heavy, looks to have weight on it, and it certainly has. It goes by on that forehand side of the ring. Now the chance for Stewart again on the backhand. Touch on the jack on the backhand. He can make three of the. He can make three shots of it. Definitely holding one. Got the ball away on that good arc again. How far is it going to come back towards the centre line? It's moving its way now towards the centre line. There's another good bowl from the Tikavata player. He's going to draw a toucher, in fact. He does. Draws a back toucher. That's two shots for sure. So Murray Dixon will certainly try and play up to dislodge the bowl. Sit on the counter. It's on its way again. Looks to be on that wide side going by. And it will be. 14-12 to Dixon and Brunton as we play this last end. And Stewart now will endeavour. He's played two magnificent bowls on this, the 15th end, and will certainly try now to really put the pressure on Dixon. On the backhand. Got the bowl away again with that very, very nice arc. Just question, has it got the weight to reach all the way? No, it hasn't. May well, though, have just got in the eye of Murray Dixon, though, on that forehand side. Because it's certainly where the bowl of Stewart's is finished, certainly looks to be on that straight, that line directly to the jack. So we're going to see Murray Dixon will like to try and play under the line fractionally and sit on what is the second shot blue bowl out to the side of the head. Oh, he's let that. That's certainly narrow. You could see straight away out of his hand that was certainly going to be under the narrow side, and it is just, in fact, tipped the second shot bowl, tipped it up and over. So as the skips change ends, both games have tightened up. 17-15, Mike Galloway leading Luke Matiaroa as they also are playing the last end, and 14-12 here in this semi-final between Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart. Glenn Newton of the Auckland Bowling Club, Alan Stewart of the Tika Whara Club, playing that Pakuranga combination. So do we go to an extra end, or does Terry Brunton save the situation, as I see driving from the Luke Matiaroa side in the Galloway game? So Glenn Newton now has made his way down to the mat. I'm sure he'll stay on that backhand side, which Alan Stewart played so well. It's on its way. He certainly got the bowl out on the wider side, which is the safer side. Arcing now towards the head is this bowl of Glenn Newton's, and this will make three of it. Yes, that's three shots, definitely three. Here now, Terry Brunton changing his hand, having to come down on that backhand side, reaching up to where those three shots are. It's on its way, this first bowl of Brunton's, on this, the 15th end. Is it too wide? It certainly is. Goes by. Are we going to see a comeback to beat all comebacks? As they were certainly up against the ropes. Was the Stewart and Newton side, holding three shots, down 11-0. Now trailing 14-12. On the backhand is Glenn Newton, holding three shots to win the match. He's done the fatal thing though. He's gone narrow, but fortunately for him, he's going to be low on weight. He's just going to drop on weight, which avoids any danger. So here we go. Last bowl. All Brunton can do is play down on that backhand to try and get the shot itself. Looks to be too wide to me, out of the hand. Look wide out of the hand to me. Needs some luck. Needs a big feather. It's not going to get it. Three shots. What a turnaround that was. Three shots to Glenn Newton and Alan Stewart, and they have defeated the Terry Brunton and Murray Dixon combination by 15 shots to 14, down 11-0 with the Stewart and Newton side, and they clawed their way back into the game. They picked up a 4 in those back ends and about the 10th end, and they just fought their way back end after end after end, and ran out the winners. They held the three shots, and unfortunately Terry Brunton and Murray Dixon couldn't make any alteration to it. I can tell you that the first finalist has been found here in the Clif Shanks Memorial 242 Piers here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club. And that we've got Glenn Stewart of the Auckland Bowling Club along with Alan Stewart of Tika Whara. They've defeated Murray Dixon and Terry Brunton of Pakuranga, and they will play the winner of the Mike Galloway-Martin Dixon combination, who are up against Utu Vave and Luke Matiaroa. And I can tell you, as they played the last bowl, about to play the last bowl, it is Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon who are leading that by, I think, 2 shots. And we'll just see what happens with this last bowl of Luke Matiaroa, because then we can tell you who the final will be. And it's 17-15 to Dixon and Galloway. So we'll just see what happens with this bowl of Luke Matiaroa, and then we'll know who the finalist will be when we get underway on the final at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So it's shake hands time, and I can tell you that Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon have defeated Uta Vave and Luke Matiaroa it was 17-15 playing the last end, and Galloway and Dixon held on to that. So I can tell you this afternoon's final here at the Clif Shanks Memorial Piers, at the 242 Piers at the Royal Oak Bowling Club here in Auckland. The final, which will get underway at 1 o'clock this afternoon, will be between Mike Galloway and Martin Dixon of the Royal Oak Club, and they'll be up against Glenn Newton of the Auckland Bowling Club and Alan Stewart of the Tika Whara Club, and we'll bring that final live to you at 1 o'clock this afternoon.